me with that.
All right, good evening, everybody. It's the December 16th, 2025 regular meeting of the Olentangy Board of Education. I'll call this meeting to order. Mr. Jenkins, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Lester.
Here.
Dr. Dabrico.
Here.
Dr. Wallach.
Here.
Mr. O'Brien.
Here.
Ms. Schreiber.
Here.
All right, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I don't believe we have any amendments to the agenda. Great, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Not so moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All right, hearing none, Mr. Jenkins.
Dr. Dabrico.
Yes.
Dr. Wallach.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber.
Yes.
Mr. Lester.
Yes. All right. This will be a fairly short board president's report. This is the end of our board year. It's halfway through the school year, but we have an organizational meeting in the spring or in January where we start all over again. So it's a good opportunity to do a little bit of reflection. This has been an incredibly busy year. We started off this year with working through the state budget and trying to educate the community about all the things that budget can impact our district and impact public education, and how those decisions really have a very real world impact on everyone's pocketbooks and certainly how the district operates. We went straight from that into a vote to put a bond issue on the ballot that would allow us to build a new high school and a new elementary school. And then we spent the next several months really working hard to try to explain what that means and how a no new millage bond works and how it will allow us to build those needed facilities without increasing the tax rate. Luckily, that passed, and we're going to be jumping right into all of the planning that goes along with building those things. And in the meantime, we've celebrated graduations and the beginnings of school. Staff members who have been here for decades, who have retired, and new staff members jumping on board, and lots of state championships, including a couple just since our last board meeting, which is great. And through it all, I think we as a board are just so incredibly grateful to everybody in the community who helps make this district so special. It takes a whole lot of work to make a district like this work, from the administrative team to the building level staff to families and students and everybody, right? It is an incredible community that we have, and I think we're all just so grateful for that. And we look forward to the work ahead. So that's it. That is definitely my record for the shortest president's report this year. Do we have any updates for either OSBA or board committees?
I don't think so.
Okay, good. That means we're going to jump right into our official agenda here. So, did you have something? Sorry.
If it's okay.
I tend to look over you a lot. So
I'm used to it.
Yeah.
I do want to start incorporating more Career Center updates. I've been sitting on the Career Center this year, trying to understand their issues, challenges, and where we are moving forward. So if you're paying attention, just look to next year. I'll try and give, every time we have a meeting, I'll try and follow it up. Career Center is expanding. The enrollment is everybody always says exponential. It's not really exponential, but it's really growing fast. So it's exciting. So more updates to come.
Yeah, that's great. And we do have the honor of having one of our board members sit on their board. So that's how
Yep.
Dr. Dabrico's getting that information. So that's great. All right, now we're heading straight into our first presentation, which is the Berlin High School Student-Led Restorative Practices Group with Mr. Stern and Mr. Endinaro and a bunch of students here. So we're always really appreciative that you all come and make time out of your schedule to come here. So take it away.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Joe Andinaro. I'm honored to introduce the Student-Led Restorative Practices Group from Olentangy Berlin High School. These students were thoughtfully recommended by OBHS staff to participate in a district pilot initiative. These students were recognized for their strong character, their leadership, and their commitment to supporting others. Through their work in conflict mediation and culture building, they have made a meaningful impact at Berlin High School and across the district. The members of this group are Gavin, Lauren, Brady, Jaden, Ruhan, Kayla, Maggie, Jaden, Alan, and two-time state champions, Livy and Maggie. I'm incredibly proud of these students and the leadership they demonstrate every day. The members of this group have prepared a brief presentation where they will show what they've worked on and how it connects to culture building and accountability in Olentangy. Jaden will tell us more. Now Jaden will tell us more about restorative practices. After that, Gavin, Livy, Maggie, Lauren, and Jaden will demonstrate a mediation protocol. Ruhan and Alan will take us through an empathy building activity. Finally, the students and Mr. Stern will talk about their training over the summer and the items they have worked on to connect everything to the portrait of a learner here in Olentangy. Thank you so much for having us. I'll hand it off to the students. Jaden.
All right, good evening, everyone. Members of the Board of Education, school leaders. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. We want to briefly share how restorative practices support our school community. Restorative practices empower students to take an active role in building a positive school culture. They give students a voice and encourage us to take responsibility for how we treat one another and contribute to our community. They also teach students practical routines for navigating and resolving conflicts. We learn how to communicate, listen, reflect, and repair harm when challenges arise. Additionally, restorative practices equip students with strategies to support their peers. This approach strengthens relationships, improves communication, and promotes accountability through understanding rather than punishment. Ultimately, restorative practices help create a positive, inclusive school culture where students feel connected, respected, and supported. Gavin, Livy, Lauren, Maggie, and Jaden will now walk you through a demonstration of restorative practices.
Good evening, everyone. Today we'll share a few of our practices that we learned with you at Columbus West High School and the practices we presented with the other district staff that we presented previously.
So the two protocols we will do are the Observe, Feeling, Need protocol and the Stand Up, Sit Down activity. It will give insight into our training and how we shape school culture across the district. We will ask for participation in one of the activities. So the OFN protocol is a communication framework that helps students and adults express themselves clearly without assigning blame or punishment. It's grounded in restorative practices, which emphasize building and repairing relationships rather than assigning blame. At West High School, our group, along with 100+ other students, worked through scenarios like the ones we're about to share to practice these skills and develop understanding with restorative work. We've presented it to staff across the district so far to show the protocol and encourage accountability and empathy in students.
The OFN protocol stands for Observation, Feel, Need protocol, and it shapes interactions through 3 steps to create a positive foundation for the exchange. Observation is sharing what happened without judgment. Feeling is identifying the emotion connected to the event. And need is expressing what would support or repair the understanding moving forward.
OFN language can reduce conflict, strengthen peer and teacher relationships, encourage reflection and accountability, and contribute to a positive and inclusive school culture. By practicing OFN, students learn to be proactive community members who will help sustain a restorative climate with respect, trust, and belonging. Maggie, Lauren, and Jaden will now show the scenario that we've been talking about.
All right. For this, it'll be a little bit of a role play just to show you guys what we're talking about. And yeah. So for this situation, a student posts a group photo on a social media page that is looked at as having a negative connotation for students, having students being caught off guard or completing activities that reflect poorly on them. This example will show the OFN protocol and how it can be used to support the situation. In this scenario, Lauren and Maggie will be the students in the conflict, and Jane will mediate their conflict.
Maggie, why did you post that picture of me? Everyone saw it. I could get in so much trouble. My parents are gonna find out.
It was funny and everyone goes on that page.
You always do stuff like this. You're such a bad friend. Why can't you just be on my side? What if I get in trouble?
You need to let this go. It was a funny picture and I didn't mean anything by it.
All right, Maggie, what happened in your perspective?
I posted a photo and I thought it was funny, but I hurt Lauren.
So I heard you say, I posted a photo and I thought it was funny, but I hurt Lauren.
Yes.
Are you feeling confused?
Yes.
Do you need understanding?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Lauren, what happened in your perspective?
She posted a really bad picture of me that I could get in trouble for it. She always does stuff like this.
I heard you say she posted a really bad picture of me that I could get in trouble for, and she always does really bad stuff like this. You feeling frustrated?
Yeah.
Do you need an apology?
Yeah.
You guys think that you could work it out from here?
I'm very sorry for posting that photo of you.
Sorry for calling you a bad friend. I know you're on my side.
Okay.
So this protocol helps us guide awareness factors that can escalate situations, identifying the feelings from their perspective, and it creates a sense of understanding for that person without judgment, and understanding their needs to shape how to support them. Rohan, Jane, and Alan will demonstrate the stand-up, sit-down, which is another activity we did at West, and yeah.
We'll now do an activity called Stand Up, Sit Down. It's a simple way to learn about each other's experiences and find things that we have in common. If a statement applies to you, please stand up. If not, remain seated. There are no right or wrong answers. If you're uncomfortable responding, you can stay seated. Everyone in this room is encouraged to participate in this activity and stand up as things apply to their time as a student.
Stand up if you ever had a teacher who inspired you.
Stand up if you ever felt misunderstood as a student.
Misunderstood as a student.
Yes. And as an adult.
Stand up if you ever played sports or were involved in a club while you were a student.
Stand up if you were in a band or performing arts while you were a student.
Stand up if you ever got in trouble as a student.
Daily or?
Just in general.
I know.
Stand up if you ever failed a class or major component of a class.
I cheated. Real well.
Stand up if you ever seen a school situation escalate that could have been handled differently.
Stand up if you ever experienced a situation that made it difficult to be a student.
This protocol is designed to help create empathy between students and adults in school settings. We completed these throughout the training days at West, and it helped us understand our peers and gain a sense of empathy for who they are and what experiences we shared. When students learn to recognize how actions affect others, we are more likely to take responsibility, communicate respectfully, and work towards repairing than harm when escalating problems. Gavin, Lauren, Livy, and Mr. Stern will now talk about what we have done, potential next steps we might take, and the impact this can have on the Olentangy community.
Yeah. So this, just this past year, since August, so that's August 12th, 13th, 14th is when we completed the training days at West. And since then, we did the training, and then we also led a professional development session for district staff covering the different components of restorative practices.
We have also implemented these lessons into our daily interactions with peers and teachers. We have become learners and leaders who are purposeful, kind, resilient, and curious through this training.
So for next steps, we were kind of unsure what to do at first, but when we presented to a few Olentangy members, they really encouraged us to present to like the middle schools or elementary schools, because that's really when they're learning when to be kind and how to treat their peers. So we're hoping to do that and also probably present to some of our Berlin staff as well.
They told me I had to go last because I talk too much, so here we are. But yeah, we're excited to have them. I think the one thing that's been, or a couple things that are great, is this really connects to our strategic plan. We're excited about that There's a whole lot of things, though. We're improving leadership. We've got a great group of leaders here. Obviously, we want to make that sense of belonging for everybody and break down barriers that we have. So we're excited about that piece. It connects a lot to, actually, we talked with Vince about this some too. Student agency is something we really believe in, and so we want them to learn how to handle these things on their own. The interesting thing, and maybe hopefully you'll still agree with me because you said this before, but rather than a formal setting, you guys have really found that with peers and with friends, like at lunch, navigating those things, that we've seen those skills be really useful. And I think that sort of speaks to the power of this, is that it doesn't have to be this set thing where, your teacher's going to set this up and do that. No, we're teaching them life skills, and we're not teaching them. They're learning these life skills that they can navigate these things and actually help other peers when they're in their classrooms and at lunch and just in life. So we love that part of it, and we're super proud of everything they've done. So we're really excited about it. We'd love to see, as future trainings are available, and Dr. Dabrico, I thought of you. The training was free, $0. So it was completely free to us, which I love, and that was great for us. And so we'd love to keep that going and take advantage when the future opportunities come up for us as well. So thanks for letting us present tonight.
Great. So any questions or comments?
I have a quick question, Mr. Stern, before you complete this together. Is there any connection between this and the work with Dr. Bell and the Student Research Collaborative? Are any of these students involved in that?
Completely separate group.
Completely separate. It's just, okay, it's funny because when in that space, that stand-up, sit-down activity was done with a group of students from Berlin. It was very powerful. It's an interesting connection. Anyway.
And it's almost the exact same acronym, so we're really close.
Love it. Very, very nice.
Any comments?
I'm just completely and totally impressed at what you guys have done, all the work that you've done across different districts and different schools. The fact that you presented for the teachers and administrators, I think, is awesome, and I'd love to see it because I think there is so much that we can learn from you guys. So I really appreciate all the work you guys did, and restorative practices is something that's a very promising practice in the criminal justice space where I work. It's about community, it's about relating to each other, and as you said, Mr. Stern, these are life skills that we want our students to have, is how to resolve conflicts, how to reach across and understand each other, even when you're coming from different perspectives. And I think this is a really great way to do it, and you guys have demonstrated it very well, and I look forward to seeing those skills throughout all our buildings, and seeing that culture of kindness and empathy throughout our district.
So normally, Libby gets to geek out over this stuff. So I've actually studied conflict resolution a whole lot, so I get to geek out over something, which is good. One of the obviously, some of the examples you use here are very simple examples to try to illustrate it, right? One of the fundamental things about conflict resolution is recognition about why you're upset, why other people are upset, getting past what you think they might be upset about, and then learning about what's actually there, and then empowering you to move forward, right? So I really like the examples that you put forward, because you're trying to cut through some of that, oh, this is how I think they're going to be, or this is what I think they're doing, and really try to understand each other a little bit. Some of the techniques you use, like the mirroring, I hear this is what you're saying, that helps people feel heard and feel understood. And those sorts of things, sometimes in this context, it feels a little artificial when you're trying to demonstrate it. It's like you're reading from a script, right? But once you start actually talking with people, you start listening, you get past some of the the posturing that people do, and you're actually able to solve problems. So I really applaud you for taking the time to learn about that, to learn how these things work, and then try to put it in practice. It doesn't have to be I say this, and then I say that, and then I use this tool sort of thing, right? You can take all of these ideas and start to use them in real life, and it actually does work, right? It can have really, really powerful impacts. Especially when, I like the stand-up, sit-down thing, because there's a little bit of, nobody could possibly feel this way, or nobody could possibly be experiencing this thing this way. We all have sort of imposter syndrome where we think like we're the only one that's going through this, and it allows people to see that, right? And then that helps to solve problems too. So really congratulations on thinking through it, working through it. Continue to apply those all the way through your life. They'll be incredibly valuable skills.
Well, and I'm going to piggyback off of that too. The other thing about the stand-up, sit-down is it really it really blows assumptions out of the water, too. I mean, I'll say, even sitting here, and looking at my fellow board members, whom I've gotten to know fairly well over the last few years, there were people standing for things I was like, no way. I would never have thought that. So I think the way that builds community and understanding is so powerful, too.
Great.
So thank you.
Awesome. All right, thanks, guys. I will tell you that you are free to stay for the rest of the board meeting, but you do not have to, so.
It's exam week. They got things.
That's right, that's right. I
They said
understand.
they didn't need me to go, I'll escort them out.
Yeah. All right, thank you all so
Thank you,
much.
Susan.
Yeah. Give me 1 second, then Mr. Gordon be up in a second.
Go band.
Have a good break.
Thank you.
Apparently, they weren't all here to hear me.
I'm here,
We
Jeff.
are.
I'm here.
Thank you. You're always here.
We're always
Appreciate
here
it.
for you, Jeff.
Always here. 5-year capital plan. I'm going to start with where we were in January. Last time we looked at this plan, it's a familiar format as presented at the January 2025 board meeting. When you look at the fiscal year 25, we were using up the last of the bond from 2020 that was for the roofing, the mechanical school bus replacements, and our outer years were rather bleak. We worked with Mr. Jenkins to use funds from the general fund. As you remember, when the levy on the 2024, when we had the levy and bond issue, we also had PI levy on there, asking for PI funds to help maintain the district. When that levy was not successful and that bond issue was not successful, it left a gap for us. So we were trying to fill that gap with some funds, general fund dollars, which you see there in the orange for fiscal year 26 and fiscal year 27. So this is where we stood in January. Fortunately, as we all know, we went out with another bond issue. Along with that bond issue for the construction of the 2 buildings, we had what was one of the line items was PI shortfall, and that was to help us with the stopgap to fill us for the next several years to help cover some of those building maintenance and facilities maintenance issues that we were dealing with again, and bus replacements, mechanicals, roofing, et cetera. Other items we had on there, you'll see under fiscal year 26, was the high school stadium updates, theater updates, and some security upgrades. Along with, you see down below, we're still spending for this year some of those general fund dollars that we'd allocated and had encumbered to move forward with. The previous slide showed in fiscal year 2027, we still were using those general fund dollars to help with that stopgap. That has gone away. Mr. Jenkins has worked on returning those to our general fund, and the costs we're going forward we're going to be used with those bond dollars we discussed earlier. So the bleak outlook that was in the outer years here in the blue in 26, 27, 28, 29 now are filled up going out into fiscal year 2031, which is not shown here but gets us 1 more year. After that, because this was a stopgap and it was a 5-year estimate for maintaining, those funds will go away and we'll be revisiting that same spot we were at before passing this bond issue this year. But right now, we have some funds to move forward. I won't go over every project, but you see the stadium upgrades, theater upgrades, and some of the security. Those are broken out into 2 years. There are quite a bit to chew. We're trying to take it in chunks and do parts of each this year and then go into next year. There's quite a bit of planning and design that goes into some of those, so it'll take more. We need more time to get that done with that successful passage. So with that, I'm sorry, 2 more things. You see under roof replacements in the green, we carried forward about $700,000 from last year to do a bigger roofing project this year. So we will approve, we're planning for the January board meeting, second board meeting, to approve the roofing bid, which will be a large roofing bid for the coming summer, as well as down below, you see that we had some extra costs last year we used PI funds for, so we lowered the expenditures this year to make up for what we had spent last year to keep the budget in balance. So with that, do you have any questions on the capital plan?
Questions? Good, all right, I think we're good.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Gordon.
you.
All right, we will now move on to the superintendent's report.
If I do it from here, Dustin, can you drive for me? Yeah. All right. Good evening. So I'm just going to review the action items of the upcoming events. We have some retirements and resignations on the agenda tonight, including Tron Smith, who's in the audience. So congratulations to Tron, effective August 1st. Also, Charlene Koloski is in our technology department, been here a long time, and is a treasurer of Olentangy who will be retiring in March. We also have some students who are up for approval for graduation, and some curriculum purchases that we'll be presenting to you in a little bit, a club, and then some business items, including, on the next slide, Dustin, a lease for water tower for Delco at Elementary 18 site, a pre-annexation agreement with the City of Delaware for the High School 5 site, approval of a contract amendment with Fanning Howie for High School 5 work, and the approval of a wetland mitigation purchase agreement with the Stream and Wetlands Foundation for the High School 5 project. And then as far as upcoming events, obviously the semester ends very soon, end of the week. We'll have winter break for 2 weeks, teacher workday on Friday, January 2nd, and then second quarter report cards will be available for families on January 9th. And our next meeting will be January 8th, where we'll do the organization meeting and the first regular meeting of the year. Any questions on the superintendent stuff?
What happens if we don't accept a resignation?
Waterworks. A lot of tears, I would imagine.
We'll take
I don't
that
begrudge anyone the ability to retire. We shouldn't have that attitude.
We'll take the request under consideration, to be sure. So, all right, good. Any other questions?
Now, I heard that there might be a Fiesta Bowl on January 8th.
Yeah.
There might be. That is
For
true.
Ohio State.
Yeah, I know. We can't have our same wager as last year, unfortunately, for me.
Got to get in the playoffs.
That's true. Good. All right.
Yeah, let's.
That will be a short meeting then.
Good. All right. Thank you, Dr. Fetty, ably filling in for Mr. Meyer. Mr. Jenkins, Treasurer's Report.
You can't get too far into.
Good evening, board members. I also want to keep things pretty short tonight. One of the items that I wanted to call to your attention, there's 3 different action items that will be separate this evening. Each one is actually a bond issue of some sort. The first one is a short-term note, which is called a bond anticipation note. That will provide us with the infusion of capital that we need for the projects that are already beginning. In fact, some of the projects that are already underway and encumbered and spending some cash that will allow for that. The actual approval of the issuance of the big bonds, which would be the $235 million, which would be going to settle sometime around the end of February. And then we're back with another refunding resolution that will allow the district, based on current estimates right now, to save gross principal and interest payments of about $3.4 million. That is kind of highlighted on the screen there. It's also broken down into the net present value. Just think of taking a stream of payments that we're getting a savings on and discounting them back to present day. So about $2.7 million, which is about an 8.56% savings. The resolution is written in such a way that all callable bonds are a part of the resolution, so you'll see $67.29 million. Not all of them are quote-unquote in the money to where there would be savings. Right now we'll call probably about half of them, about $30 million worth. The Fed cut the rate on the 10th. A lot of that was already baked in. They're expected to cut the rates again in January. They're already pre-pricing and baking some of that in, but it's better than the alternative. At least the Fed isn't increasing those rates. Beyond that, a long list of action items this evening. Some by consent calendar, some one at a time. I'll explain the ones that go one at a time. The consent items would be the board minutes. The donations, those are more of your standard fare that we see on most of my treasurer's agendas. The monthly financials and the permanent appropriations. Also tonight, a little bit different, the basic financial statements, I'm asking you to accept those. The audit is complete for a lot of what we're doing, and our financial statements have been released. And so I'm just making those available for public consumption. The ACFR will be finished at the end of this month. I'll have you adopt it as well, and the PAFR. And then finally, 3 items that will be considered one by one as separate items would be the resolution that actually issues the bans that will be certified and sent to each county auditor, Delaware and Franklin. The resolution that actually certifies the issuance of the $235 million per the levy that we just ran. And then finally, a resolution that would approve refunding bonds that could go up to $67.290 million, but think more along the lines of about $30 million, because that would be what would make sense to refund. I would entertain any questions that you might have.
Questions?
You know, when we throw around the million here, million there, every lump of $1 million is a number of teachers that we're able to bring on is more support services for kids, as tutors. So every penny that you save makes a difference on the services side. And then where are we at, 9 million for 1 mil? Is that?
No.
I mean, we're at 9 billion taxable property, so 1 mil.
About 7.2 million. We're about 7.2 billion in taxable property, so a mil is about 7.2 million.
All that savings is less than we have to ask our community for.
And that's the goal. Certainly our goal is to obviously have educational excellence, but the second part that we always say is at an exceptional value. And so that's what we're hoping to accomplish with everything that we do.
And certainly the expectation is there, but I appreciate you making known that the audits and things like this are things that they're in our board documents, they're publicly available. I know much of this stuff is either on our website or they could get it easily by writing to yourself or any other administrator.
Yep. Yeah, I just answered a question today. Someone who is a landlord, I think, of some properties, emailed and said, I'm confused. The auditor's website shows that your bond issue will be 1.77 additional mils, but I noticed this disclaimer. Do I need to prepare my renters for their rent to go up? And I was gladly able to send him the resolution that we passed that said no additional mils, and explain to him that it will not increase the tax rates or have an incremental impact on tax bills. And there are no public participation forms or interest that I'm aware of.
I appreciate you adding the interest part. No one cares.
What is going on?
All right, well then, we will move to the first discussion item. Dr. Fetty, the board policy updates number 3.
Yes, we have 5 policies for first reading tonight. The Ohio Auditor of State updated guidance on public official use of credit cards. So we would like to modify our policy to match the current guidance from the Auditor of State. So the exhibit is attached to the agenda, and we will bring these back in January for approval. Were there any questions on those 5 policies?
Questions? Okay, good. And I should just clarify, it goes to sort of the state ethics in terms of what you're allowed to do, what you're not to do. So we're going in line with that. So
Yep.
Okay, that moves to our next discussion item, which is the French World Language Instruction Resources. So Mr. DiTilio.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me. I get the opportunity tonight to share some of the great work of our curriculum and innovation team. We sort of gave the directors and assistant directors the night off tonight, so I drew the short straw, and I get to present all the great work they did. So I'm proud to do that. We're going to just share our process. Some of it you know, how we adopt resources, but also come to you with to consider a purchase of new materials for our French students, our students studying French. It's a mid-year kind of purchase, so it's a little different. I'll explain that at the end and why we're doing that. I think most of you know by now we take this very seriously. The adoption of resources is not something that we kind of just jump in and say, what do people want to buy? We have a whole process that we really stay focused on being grounded in the mission of maximizing learning and making sure we're considering the student experience, and also that we're going to manage these assets wisely. We're not just buying whatever the hottest new thing is. We're really digging in, making sure we have the evidence, the feedback, and the capability to support those in the district moving forward. So in the 24-25 school year, our process is a multi-year process. The first year of the process is always kind of getting teachers together and seeing what's working and what's not working in their curriculum. That's an extensive process because sometimes we find out there isn't a gap. Sometimes we find out there's multiple gaps. Sometimes we find out all kinds of things that we didn't know before that. Honestly, in my time here, we haven't really brought together world language teachers, so that was at least 15 years since they've really come together and done this. So there was a need to look at these. And this first part with French is just kind of the first part of that phase. We use the high quality instructional materials rubric. We've talked about that before. The state has done a great job recently of really helping us understand what a high quality instructional material is, how to roll it out in a sustained process that really makes sure that we're getting the most for our money and the student experience is being impacted in a positive way. After reviewing a bunch of resources, the product is called Kemmons. It's from Vista, the publisher. Obviously, it rose to the top, and it really did earn the strongest ratings in every area in the rubric that we had. In the fall, actually before the fall, even in the summer, we put teachers through a training prior to the pilot. Even that's something different. We want to make sure when we do a pilot, it's with fidelity and we actually get people to actually use the resources. We roster the digital components for students during that so they can really experience the whole product. And that happened in the summer. And then in the fall, we just finished up the pilot with pretty much every French teacher in the district participated in the pilot. There were a couple who didn't participate fully, but most of them did. And it was a rare thing where 100% of our folks came back and said, this is the product we would prefer for students. The proposed purchase that we are bringing today gives each teacher a class set of textbooks. That's been kind of our way of moving forward recently, is not purchasing a textbook for every student, making sure we have class sets, some extras laying around for kids who need to take them home, and then digital access for students. The mid-year purchase is unique just because the publisher basically said, hey, if you were able to purchase this material now for the contract starting in 26, 27, we would give you the rest of this year sort of for free. So it would really bring continuity. The students have been in using the resource. The teachers have gotten used to the resource. We feel really strongly that this is the right resource. So purchasing now allows us to maintain the resource for the rest of the year and then pick up our 3-year digital subscriptions and textbooks for the following year. So it really, for us, it's looked at as kind of a win-win. There's big support behind the resource, and then we also kind of get an additional year, which we think is worth coming to the board mid-year for that. Additional training afterwards. Obviously, we don't just drop these boxes on people's room and have them open them up. I mean, every teacher will be trained. The trainings will go throughout the year, both internally with our folks and also some funds we've set aside to make sure that we bring in the experts from the resource. And then it's that ongoing evidence, collecting evidence, what's working, what's not, working through the kinks. This is something we become really good at. It's something we feel really comfortable that when we purchase something now, we really feel we have the capacity to make it impact the student experience. So tonight, we're asking that the board consider approving the purchase of the Kemmons product. We feel like this resource will strengthen our French learners in the classroom. It will support high-quality instruction, and it does align with our mission and general broader instructional goals. So thank you. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Any questions? Did they say in board prep that it's been 15 years?
Since we've done a full district-wide look at world language resources. When Berlin opened, they had to purchase some things with bond money, so they did purchase some newer materials. And actually, some of the languages actually purchased this product when Berlin opened. But again, the other schools don't have it.
So I'm just thinking, what does the cycle look like to look at that stuff? And then you were talking about textbooks and digital.
Yeah.
So we're getting a hard copy of something and we have online access.
Yeah. So in the past, this is still we're not quite sure of what the cycle looks like in the modern kind of phase of resources. But when I started, it was roughly every 10 years that was kind of the maximum life of a textbook. We would do rebinding and stuff like that at that time. Right now, we have to go back in 3 years, well, really, in 4 years, to decide whether or not we want to re-up the digital purchase. So the timeline has shrunk because of the digital licensing. And also, we used to purchase 6-year digital license, but what we find is tech changes so fast, by the time you get to that 3rd, 4th year, there's something else going on that people want to look at. So right now, we'll do this purchase now, and then, after that 3-year subscription is up, we'll come back to these folks and say, how's it going? Where do you want to go with that? But we do have a plan that makes sure we're working through each subject area now in, obviously, the 3 to 5 year framework.
Do other subjects have a more frequent review? Because I would think with technology, I know teachers can tweak their offerings and it'll be based on what the assessment, what needs to be taught, but I'm just wondering, man, the 15 years or whatever, that's a long, I know French hasn't changed in 15 years.
And our teachers are great about patching it together.
Right.
So I really give them that testament. A lot of their stuff was self-created. They do purchase some things with building budget, but I think the other thing we found is that when we do it from the district level, it increases our capacity to collaborate also, because it brings people together. It gives them something to talk about, something to work on together, and it unifies the buildings, which that's something that we see as a real value in the district and something that makes us great. So moving forward, we're more committed to kind of making sure that our cycle and this process is really thorough and touches every subject area, not just the math, social studies, science kind of component, ELA.
And this goes all the way down to middle school when they do
It does, yeah. This is level 1, 2, 3, 4. It does not include AP. We've done some purchases. AP we kind of treat a little bit differently just because there's a different criteria that AP has for textbooks. But yes, it will go all the way down in the middle school. Same thing, class sets, digital subscriptions.
Okay.
Other questions?
Thank you.
All right. Sebon?
I was going to do some.
Yeah, well,
I'm on 72 days in Duolingo,
Are you letting him
so.
leave now? Now that he's done, he can.
No, I'm good. Okay. All right, Mr. Gordon.
Really trying to shrink my audience, aren't you? Yeah. Good evening again. I have several action items on the agenda that I want to make sure we reviewed with you. Most of these construction related in one way or another. The big ones, ground lease with Delco Water Company, and this is for Delco to put a water tower on our elementary school 18 site off Beanaller, that we give up an acre of land there that we're not using through the lease. In exchange for that, Delco will run the water line for us that we were picking up for the elementary previously, just north of between Hyatt's Road and Clarkshaw Road, at the development there that was being finished by Metro. And the cost, when we bid out the elementaries previous to the 2024 bond issue, that was a $486,000 item we had, and that was as an alternate that we bid out to get a cost on. So we are avoiding those costs now with this elementary building, with this collaboration with Delco Water. And as a reminder, when we purchased land previously, we were paying about $55,000 an acre. So the value of the acre of land is about $55,000. In exchange, we're saving the $486,000 on the construction of the water line, in addition to continuing to be good partners with Delco, who always works well with us during construction and when we have needs in the district as we operate our buildings. The second item I want to talk about related to High School 5 is the pre-annexation agreement with the City of Delaware. We are working with the city to eventually submit a petition for annexation into the city. The reason that we need this annexation is Delaware City has the rights to water service and sanitary service for the areas north of Bunny Station Road where our high school site is located. So while it is currently not within the City of Delaware, Delaware has the rights and agreement that they made years ago with the Delaware County on who would provide services to those areas. So in order to get those services, we'll have to annex into the city and receive the services with that. So we'll approve this. We've worked out the the reason for the pre-annexation agreements, we kind of worked out the language and some of the logistics of it prior to submitting the petition. So we aren't doing that after we're going through the petition process, and it's being reviewed by the commissioners. So we'll be back to talk about the petition shortly. We need to keep this process going to make sure we have all of those utilities and everything to the site when we need them for the high school. The third item was the fourth amendment to the existing contract with Fanning Howey in the amount of $1.9 million. When I came in July for approval of the original contract and the previous amendment, it was for the design of the high school. And the reason we did a partial at that time was we knew we were considering going out on the bond, or out for a bond issue to build the high school, but if we chose not to go or the bond issue had failed, we didn't want to be committed with Fanning Howey for the construction portion of that process. So at that time, we approved the design of the building. Now we're approving the construction services through the end of the building with this. At that time in July, I did mention how we had our partnership with Fanning Howey and our prototype that we use for the buildings continuing to do on that. We get quite a bit of savings from the architectural side, as well as we were able to negotiate an additional discount with Fanning Howey on this building because of the percentage fee structure for architect fees and the rising construction cost inflation that we had between 2020 and 2024. We were able to work with them to discount that price. So that was another additional $580,000 that we're able to save by negotiating that without committing to the future of a lower percentage, but negotiated that off. So that's just a reminder. And again, we did talk about that in July as well. As a side note, I went back and reviewed the architectural savings, design savings on our last projects from 2016 on to these, including these two buildings, and we were approaching $5 million. And so with the prototype savings we had prior to 2016, in addition to that almost $5 million here, we're well over $6 million in savings by doing the prototypes and being able to do that, as well as be able to tweak a good design. Having built a house recently, talking with other people that built, I've never had somebody say they built a house and they wouldn't change this or change that. So our advantage with starting out with Liberty High School, having a great design with the high school that worked well, we're able to tweak that and make it better. So we've continued to make those tweaks, and every time we have built a prototype, we go back and visit with those principals that have lived in that building and have done that. We've done that at all levels and get feedback and then tweak each time. So it's been a really good process for us. The last item on there is approved wetland mitigation purchase. This also is for High School 5. We have some wetlands we will be disturbing as we build the high school. What we are able to do is purchase wetlands in another part of the state that will remain wetlands forever. In exchange, it's about 1.8 acres. So in exchange at the wetland bank, we can purchase that, and that's the cost here. So that will allow us. We're still going to maintain some wetlands, but what we need to disturb on site is about 1.8 acres, and this will offset that. And that is the last item. Any questions?
One question on the first one on the water. That's not going to delay the construction at all?
That is not going to delay the construction. That is for a future water tower, not a water tower that we'll necessarily need on site. Right now, the flow test, we have the water pressure we need for the building. It will only get better when the tower's there. Having that tower closer and feeding that area will just create higher water pressure, but we are well within the bounds that we need without that tower. This is just for Delco for future planning on their end.
I mean, I think, one of the challenges of this area is it's growing so much, and the baseline infrastructure of everything is so important. So whenever we can find a way to really both serve our interest, but also serve the community's interest in helping to build some of that out, that's great. So
yeah, and we continue to work with Delco, the Delaware County on sanitary. You see a lot of easements that we get as we build the buildings. We always build a building, and then as they build things around us, the easements end up being to the county, but the developers will have to build sanitary and do that. And we work, partnering with the county, it's best for them as well to have that sanitary and connect with us. And so we give easements and work with them, and we'll continue to do that, and we'll continue to see easements as long as the county's growing and we're the first in an area. We'll continue to have to work with utilities to help them expand, and as they work with us as well. Again, we've got a really good partnership with the county building department and the utilities, and we'll build the same with Delco, the city of Delaware, as we annex and work with them.
Okay, good. All right, thank you, Mr. Gordon. All right, so we move on to our board action item. As I said at the outset, this is our last meeting of this current board cycle. We'll start a new one in January, so we have to assign a president pro tempore for the January 8th, 2026 Board of Education organizational meeting. So I believe, Mr. Jenkins, we have to do nominations and then...
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I will open up the floor for nominations for president.
After great deliberation, it's with a heavy heart that I nominate Libby Wallach for president pro tem at the organizational meeting on January, is that the 8th?
Mm-hmm.
It's the 8th.
January 8th.
That tracks.
Good. Are there any other nominations? All right, hearing none, then I will entertain a motion to assign Dr. Wallach as President Pro Tem for the Thursday, January 8th, 2026 Board of Education organizational meeting.
So moved.
Second? I will second it. All right, any discussion? All right, hearing none, Mr. Jenkins.
Dr. Wallach.
Well, I'm going to abstain. I wouldn't want anyone to think a minute for the glory.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber.
Yes.
Mr. Lester.
Yes.
Dr. Dabrico.
Yes.
All right, we will now move on to our treasurer's consent action items. Mr. Jenkins.
Board members, this evening, there are 5 items that I'm asking you to consider with one single motion and action. Item A would be the approval of the November 12th minutes. Item B is the approval of the donations as noted in the treasurer's report. Item C, acceptance of the November 2025 monthly financial report. Item D, approval of revised fiscal year 2026 permanent appropriations. And then item E, the notice and acceptance of the basic financial statements for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2025. Again, I'm asking the board by one single motion and action to approve all 5 items unless you would like one to be pulled out and separately discussed and voted on.
All right, would anyone like any of these to be separately discussed? All right, hearing none, then I will entertain a motion to approve these 5 items as a single slate of consent action items.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, hearing none, Mr. Jenkins.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber.
Yes.
Mr. Lester.
Yes.
Dr. Dabrico.
Yes.
Dr. Wallach.
Yes.
All right, now, Mr. Jenkins, you have 3 separate treasurer action items, so we'll start with item A.
Yes, board members, tonight, item A, as discussed in the treasurer's report, the approval of a short-term note, about six months, for $15 million, what's called a bond anticipation note. If anyone wonders how that gets paid off, when we issue the other $235 million, the first $15 million is used to pay off this infusion of cash, but that payment happens actually in June.
Okay. I will now entertain a motion to approve the resolution to approve the issuance of $15 million in bond anticipation notes.
So moved.
Any second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, hearing none, Mr. Jenkins.
Ms. Schreiber.
Yes.
Mr. Lester.
Yes.
Dr. Dabrico.
Yes.
Dr. Wallach.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Jenkins, item B.
And then obviously the issue we worked so long and hard for. This is the actual resolution that will allow us to sell $235 million worth of bonds so that we may proceed with the construction of Elementary 18, High School 5, and then some of the other projects that Mr. Gordon mentioned this evening.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve item B, resolution to approve issuance of $235 million in bonds.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, hearing none, Mr. Jenkins.
Mr. Lester.
Yes.
Dr. Dabrico.
Yes.
Dr. Wallach.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Jenkins, item C.
And then finally, board members, as we're always doing, we're analyzing any past bonds that because of the yield curve and other factors, we are able to issue refunding bonds that have a lower interest rate and use those to pay off those past obligations and save our taxpayers money without extending the life of any of the debt in any way, shape, or form. So the resolution is up to roughly $67.3 million in callable bonds. As noted, we will probably end up only refunding about half of that, or about $30 million.
I like how your Southern Ohio slipped out for a minute and you said live. All right, I'll now entertain a motion to approve item C, resolution to approve issuance of up to $67.290 million in refunding bonds.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, hearing none, Mr. Jenkins.
Dr. Dabrico.
Yes.
Dr. Wallach.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber.
Yes.
Mr. Lester.
Yes. All right, Dr. Fetty, the superintendent consent action items.
I recommend approval of superintendent consent action items A through I. A, specific human resource items administrative. B, HR items certified. C, HR items classified. D, HR items classified substitutes. E, HR items supplementals. F, students for graduation. G, academic items. H, business management and facilities items. And I, the consent action item. I'm asking that you approve these items as one single item and vote unless you would like to discuss any of them separately.
Would anyone like to discuss any of these separately? Not even Tron's?
I was just
Yeah,
going
I
to
was gonna
say
say.
that I appreciate Mr. Smith. I know we still have you for another few months, but I appreciate your service and thank you for all that you've done. I know that there will be more celebrations and things in the future, but just recognizing that this is the official resignation, or notice, I suppose, of resignation.
Okay, well, hearing no interest to pull that out separately. We'll
No,
consider
does
it
not need to be
altogether.
pulled out
Yeah.
separately. Just noting for discussion
Yep.
that I want to recognize Mr. Smith.
So I will entertain a motion to consider, to approve them as a single slate of consent action items.
So moved.
A second? I will second it. Any discussion? All right, hearing none. Mr. Jenkins.
Dr. Wallach.
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber.
Yes.
Mr. Lester.
Yes.
Dr. Dabrico.
Yes.
All right, I will now entertain a motion to adjourn. I really should have gotten the pronunciation of this. Sign, die, sine die. Sign, die.
Sign die.
I will either way, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A second?
Second. Libby takes it.
I think Libby got first, yeah. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, Mr. Jenkins.
Mr. O'Brien.
Yes.
Ms. Schreiber.
Yes.
Mr. Lester.
Yes.
Dr. Dabrico.
Yes.
Dr. Wallach.
Yes.
All right, we are adjourned. Thank you.
Mr.